The Artificer for DC20 is here. That's right. And yes, this is before the official release of the full game. The plan with this, if you haven't heard of this already, DC20 will have 20 classes in its core game. I have the design philosophy of making sure there's design space to fit all of those classes instead of making the game, finishing the game, and then trying to cram in classes that don't run. It'd be rough, right? So the Artificer is a huge fantasy. It's from Dungeons and Dragons. It's all over the place. And it also spans a pretty wide flavor base as far as what could be an Artificer. You have the high-tech metallurgy, engineering type things that are almost in like steampunk and further along. And that type of thing might not fit in your campaign setting, and you might run a more medieval, less technologically advanced setting. Absolutely, this Artificer works for that. Or maybe your Artificer is more of a alchemist, and they're more like potions and brewing things like that. Maybe they're an enchanter, a paintress. Ooh, that's a little video game reference right there. But maybe your Artificer is just a guy that makes magic items. And it's as simple as that. The Artificer in DC20 spans the full spectrum of everything possible in that class fantasy of somebody who can take magic, imbue it into things or people in some ways, and then have magical things that you can give to your friends, you can use yourself. Amazing. So let's go. This is the Artificer. The Artificer is releasing right now, and this is how I'll talk about that in just a second. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Some of the level 1 class features of what's going on, the fantasy. It has 2 subclasses right now. It will get another one on this full release, but this Artificer is not going to be in the core rules for DC20. And if you notice a little bit of a Thanos action right there, you know what I'm saying? I think this dude looks awesome. But this is going to be a sneak peek of that. I'm going to talk about some of the two subclasses of what that's going to be. And this also is compatible with 0.9.5 and 0.10. It's technically the first piece of 0.10 compatible thing that's being released. And then in a very short while from this is when 0.10 will come out, and it also syncs up with magic items. And we also updated the magic items, and this is available right now on Patreon 1 month early. And also, if you do it right now and during the month of, what month is this right now? October. During the month of October, you also get the not only the Artificer PDF, but a magic item system PDF, which goes hand in hand with the Artificer, and last month's PDF. So it's 3 PDFs all in one. This is the bundle deal, right? But Artificer, here we go. Magic items. This is the cover art of everything. I think this is going to be super awesome. And also another great thing about the DC20 magazine that my patrons are able to get access to play test, play around with it, polish it off as we then assimilate it into a future release of the game, which also, I've said this before, but I'm trying to say this officially in the video because I don't make videos as much anymore. But when I do, it's going to be a banger in this case for big deals. The Artificer will be released not in the core rules, but in a future expansion book where you'll also see the Warforged class, a crafting system, downtime types of things, magic items galore, right? Lots of really cool things that are all going to be packaged together in there. So here we go. The Artificer is going to be the level one class features. You're going to have it is a spellcasting class. It is a full-blown spellcasting class. You have a little access to rituals, and also the rituals are in this as well. So you will learn some rituals that aren't even technically in the game yet, which is awesome. Trade expertise, just like rogues got skill expertise, Artificers get trade expertise. Awesome. Granted, I know that's not a super fancy bells and whistle thing in combat, but you get the idea, right? And because of your artificering and whatever type of element, whether it's lightning and or fire and you're more of a forge type alchemist, or maybe it's poison and you're more of a poison type artificer, you get an artesian resistance. You get resistance half to an elemental damage type of your choice. So this one is like the magical craftsman starter kit for artificers. But now, and you can see the little table here of what all this different stuff they get. They're all standard across the board with other things that you'll see. And this is also maybe a little sneak peek into some other stuff there too. But now, the other class feature, and this one's a huge one. This one's huge. It is infusion magic. Infusion magic is basically letting the artificer be able to take their own mana points, infuse them into an item, turning it into a magic item, creating their own magic items that they can, like I said, hand out to other players or use themselves, right? Amazing, right? Here's how this works, though. It was a huge challenge to be able to make this as simple as possible, because DC20, fun and efficient. Those are two of the pillars of DC20, fun and efficient. I do not want it to be a slog to play this class. I will say there is potentially advanced, this is a more advanced class, kind of like the Druid currently in DC20. There's lots of options potentially, especially once you get access to more magic items. So here's the gist of how infusion magic works. Whenever you are at level 1, you learn 3 infusions of your choice. There's going to be an infusion list. That's a very simple infusion list. And if you just heard that right now, they'd be like, oh, okay, I can have a little list of options. I make a few list of options. No, I'm about to maybe blow your mind. In DC20, how the magic system works, which is also why I said earlier that I'm releasing it alongside this on Patreon right now. That's why I'm packaging them together, and I also updated it, because here's how infusion magic works when it comes to magic items. All magic items in DC20, I don't know if I've even announced this, so there's possibly another announcement here too. All magic items have a magic power. This magic power is a number that represents how powerful this magic item is. And in general, there is about a 1-to-1 correlation with 1 mana and 1 magic power as far as how powerful a magic item is. So if you have a magic item that's magic power 1, it's probably equivalent to the amount of power of 1 mana. That's kind of efficient, right? For players to understand that, for game masters to understand that, pretty cool. And so if I have oh man, my players I'm going to give them a magic power 3. Well, it's about as strong as a 3 mana type thing, right? You get the idea. So it also works really nicely with your combat mastery, because in DC20, when you cast a spell, you can only cast a spell up to your combat mastery, which is half your level, right? So it interacts nicely with that as well. So when an artificer, let's say you give the dungeon master, you go into a cave and you find some water walking boots. You have water walking boots, awesome. Let's say it's magic power 1, water walking boots, awesome. If the artificer takes some time with those boots, they can learn that infusion themselves. They can learn that infusion, and when they learn that infusion, they can then make water walking boots. And they can, it's crazy. Now, here's the other cool part. How their mana works is actually really cool, and I think very innovative. I did not want the Artificer to be a full spellcaster, because then they're just like, oh, they're just casting spells left and right, and they just feel like a spellcaster. No, right? D&D accomplishes this in a somewhat clunky way, in my opinion, of like a half caster with like a Paladin Ranger and the Artificer half casters or something. In DC20, I want you to be able to have the customization is key, right? So how it works is, if you have, let's say you have 10 mana, right? Whatever level you are, you have 10 mana. You are a full spellcaster, you have 10 mana. When an Artificer makes an infusion, they reduce, instead of spending mana, they reduce their maximum MP by that much. So if you have 10 mana points at total, right, and you want to make those boots of water walking, which is one mana worth of 1 magic power, right? It costs 1 mana to do it, but it reduces your maximum MP by 1. So now your maximum MP, instead of being 10, is 9, right? But that magic item, you just create a magic item, and that's just a straight up magic item that's just there now, right? So, and if you want to make another one, spend another point, now you have 8. Spend another one, now you have 7. If you outfit the entire party with water walking boots, you have 5 water walking boots. Bloop, you're down to 5 maximum MP. Now, I'm using water walking boots as this example for some reason, I don't know. But basically, the Artificer has a choice. You could choose to do no infusions and actually be an Artificer spellcaster if you wanted to. Or you could choose to use all of your mana. I think this is very cool. Spend all of your mana, pour it all into infusions, making 10 magic items, or maybe you made 5 magic items with 2 power each and they're really good, and you hand them out, and you literally can't cast spells like that anymore unless you choose to end the infusion, getting your mana back. You get the idea, right? So you could play almost in some ways a martial Artificer, that you're literally just a guy that makes magic items, you know what I'm saying? And you just, that's your Artificer. It has nothing to do with clockwork or engineering or tinkering. You just made a bunch of cool magic items. Here you go. Done, right? You can even flavor them as tattoos. You can there's so many things you can do in that way. Flavor them as potions that they drink, and now they just, or you know what I'm saying? So now that's how your mana bar works. Is let's say, for example, you had 10 mana. Let's say you made 5 mana worth, and now you're probably where most Artificers would land. Some infusions have some mana. Awesome. It's amazing. And that you can infuse spells into items. Some of the infusions that you can pick from is there's spell casting infusions, spell bomb infusions, consumable infusions. So many. As far as your mana is concerned, as far as your spells are concerned, your spell list, if you know a spell, you can infuse that spell, right? So you're going to be able to add spells to this infusion list to be able to have, you will have a spell list of spells that you can cast regularly, and you'll have an infusion list of spells that you can infuse and be able to pour those spells and tinker them into something, right? And if you know a spell, you can also infuse your spell. So it's really, you only have like 2 lists. You have 1 extra list, which again, openly, the Artificer is going to be a bit more advanced in that way, but I'm trying to keep it streamlined. Yes, this is your spell list, and this is the list of spells you can infuse. Pour them in there, right? Super cool. Oh, and whenever you learn a new spell, on your class table and it says you learn a new spell, you can choose to, at any point, if you learn a new spell, you can say, no, instead of learning a new spell, I want to learn a new infusion instead. Bloop, and you can learn a new infusion. So super freaking cool. Their flavor feature is called Tinkerer, and it literally lets you make a small little contraption of some kind. An igniter, an illuminator, a recorder, or a hologram. As you can see, an igniter is like some sort of light type system that's like a magical light. Illuminator is basically a flashlight type situation. A recorder is like you can record sounds and replay them back. And a hologram is a hologram. You get the idea. So a bunch of little cool tinkery bits that feels very artificery. And then level 2, they get something called Mana Core, and their Mana Core is something that they are. It is their masterpiece. It is the thing that they are working on. It's the thing that they are trying to really, their masterpiece. It's the thing they're trying to really refine. And you're able to choose from one of a couple of different, a damage option, a damage reduction option, a speed option, and a focused like a support type option, and it's going to be really cool. So you can be a damage dealing artificer, somewhat of a tank artificer, a mobility artificer, or a spell focused like a buffing control artificer. At level 2, you're going to be able to choose that, right? So Mana Core. And then the 2 subclasses. The 2 subclasses, I've announced this before already, but if you didn't know, 2 subclasses are an alchemist, which is we're calling an apothecary, and the armorer. Right, so the apothecary is going to be poisons and potions. You're going to be able to whenever you create a potion of some kind with your infusions. Whenever you do that and it's consumable in some way, it gains a bless or bane property. So your potions are going to hit harder, or as far as when I say hit harder, they're going to have an extra effect on them, whether good or bad, your choice when making them, right? So that's super cool. And the armorer, do you like Iron Man? Yeah, the armorer is DC20's Iron Man, if you want to think of it like that. So the armor you can apply it to yourself, and it is an arcane armor. You can flavor this as like a force field looking armor that's literally like a magic like whoop, 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 hologram on yourself. It could be literal metal. It could be so many things that you want. A Gundam suit that you're getting into, whatever, right? You're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to infuse the armor, and depending on the type of armor you infuse, you have different properties. If you infuse a heavy armor, you gain like a barrier force field shield that you can put out about yourself and people in one space next to you. If you choose light armor, you gain an invisibility buff to where you can be a bit more mobile and sneaky around the battlefield. So the type of armor you infuse matters, right? And you can even boost the armor infusion that you have by 1 mana to make it even better. The one that you have for yourself is going to be super sick. So Iron Man, it's going to be awesome. You can also, side note, I really wanted this to be in there. You can make a really badass piece of armor, like body armor. You know what I'm saying? Like the body slot, the body equipment slot. You can make a really badass piece of armor, equip it on an ally. They wear it in battle, and if they're across the battlefield and you're scrambling around, oh no, you can call the armor to you, Tony Stark style, where you can call the armor and it flies across the battlefield. It doesn't teleport. We could have had it be teleport. I don't think that's as epic, right? So boom, the armor detaches from them, flies across to you, and snaps onto you. Boom, you're ready to go. Again, if you don't want it to be armor and like Iron Man 2, if that's too techy for you, it's literally can be the magic of you pull the magical orb to you and you put it on your chest, and whoa, the armor comes around you again as well. So that is the Artificer. There's also 2 Paragon talents and all that kind of stuff for the Artificer. That's again available right now on Patreon, 1 month early. And if you're watching this video outside of October and it's later than that, it's on the website and all the different type of stuff there. And this is going to be the best way to play Artificer right now, early. And I'll also say this too, is when the Artificer gets further along and like level 5 and 8, and as the game keeps growing, this will grow with it, right? So don't worry about that. And I'm very excited to get some feedback and playtest feedback on this. And you can make an Artificer right now and play it all the way up to the max level of the current game right now, which is 4. And stay tuned for 0.10. 0.10, my best estimate, it will be done this year in 2025. 0.10 will release. That's my goal. It's to be as soon as possible in 0.10, or as soon as possible in 2025. But there's the update. There's the Artificer. Let me know what you think. Stay creative. Take us to the box. Peace.